Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for today. And I'd been getting some more recent questions regarding like crypto versus House of Legends bot for single target damage for bosses. And I thought I'd re-release these rankings with updated figures just so that everyone was aware of what's going on. So with the top ally, in terms of this was all tested at CR 396, but the pets will be 395 just because we're not high enough over the threshold. So this is all maximum CR tested at. In terms of the top AOE, it's still going to be Superman. Technically though, it can be Batman Who Laughs. I believe he got some sort of a buff because he wasn't hitting that hard before, but a lot of it's going to be those card procs at the end that he throws, the damage card decks. Now that is a little bit RNG because if you only get one hit, that's going to be another like 200k less if you get 2 or 3. So similar to Cyborg, that's why Cyborg has an asterisk as well with his projectiles. Batman Who Laughs is not consistent. Plus, you want to be using him as your passive. Batman Who Laughs is much better off as your passive. Having those additional might and precision increases, the critical increases, health, power, everything else. So that's much better as a passive, but technically he can be viable in AoE. Superman's just largely much more consistent. Same thing, Batman's not that far behind anyway. Even Death Metal Batman's not that far behind, and that Death Metal Batman you'd have the extra stacking debuffs. The only thing with Death Metal Batman is the damage is delayed because he has to do the debuffs and guitar playing first, so that's why I'm not personally a fan of him, but he is still very strong in terms of AoE. So in terms of non-boss ally, this means just not a bounty or not a raid boss. Batman with his single target punches pulls out ahead. Same thing, not that much of a difference over Death Metal Batman, and then you get the debuffs with him. So, overall for the group, Death Metal Batman would be better because the damage is only slightly different, but then everyone else is getting that stacking debuff. And then Cyborg is still very close. I mean, Cyborg looks low here, but that's just because of his projectiles. If I went to the House of Legends and used Cyborg on those glitch sparring targets by the window, I would have probably a 1.5, 1.6 million parse. I would double the damage of Superman because of those projectiles bouncing off the window and hitting the targets again. So Cyborg definitely has the potential to be the top ally as well, and much cheaper because he's a epic compared to legendary. So getting down to the boss damage, this was tested at the Injustice Bounty in Infernal Conduct. We got Crypto 1.764 mil. House of Legends bot 1.7, so once again like a few weapon taps worth of damage, so you could use either or. 100% every player in the entire game should have one of these two. They're rares, so they're entirely cheap to level, and then the top for single damage by far. And then rounding out, what do we have, 7 allies over 1 mil now. And then same thing with Cyborg, that was only 2 projectile hits, the 768. So once again, if you have a boss up against a wall, it's super, like, not only is it RNG but situational as well, because you're going to have raid fights where there's no objects behind them at all. But same thing, Cyborg is definitely an option and is definitely viable in all forms of damage as well, and much cheaper to level if you don't want to invest in, like, say, Superman just for his damage if you aren't like a tank and be able to take effective of his 30-second shield. So there's all the rankings there. I'm going to have the passive breakdowns and the damage breakdowns in a future video, as well as the How to Rise His Artifact video. So take care guys, we'll see you in the next video.